TPS reports. We're here. I'm Justin, and that's Joshua Padron. Josh, what's up, my friend?
How's it going, Justin? Good talking to you again.
It's going good, buddy. Glad to have you back. This is 2 weeks in a row, correct?
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row.
Nice.
And awesome, I think this is the first time we've done a podcast, you and I together only.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, normally we have a third one with us. Normally it's a Devil's three-way, but is that what it's called? I don't know. I'm just reference to reference to whatever that was. What was that? Lonely Island. Dude, so this is the halfway point in the season. We've done 10 tournaments now. Halfway through, we're doing 20 events this year. So a little different episode. We're gonna hit on like every tournament, kind of a season recap. Josh, I mean, how many tournaments have you played so far this year? I didn't actually look that up. How many have you played? 3?
3, yeah.
4?
Brass taps 2 and break time. Yeah, 4. You're right. Yeah,
4.
Smoking
yeah, okay.
2 in brass taps, and last week on break time. So yeah,
thanks, dude. So
approaching 50%.
Yeah, and you're signed up for the next one, so you'll be 5 out of 11. So that's pretty good. And then we'll be back at brass tap. I think 3 more times we're back up there. So
yes,
you might be playing at least 3, 4 more at least. So you'll finish with at least probably half the tournaments.
Yeah, that was kind of the plan to play out of 29 to 12 events. That was kind of what I was counting on.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I figure. A lot of a lot of like the top players such as yourself, I kind of figured that's where they would fit in. Just because, it is hard to make every one. We are doing 2 every month. June being weird, we're doing 3. In July, we're only doing 1. Kind of some weird months with APA League going on, and just summertime, people taking vacation. So kind of a weird time. But let me go ahead and hit on our sponsors here for this tournament that we just had. Deadstroke Media, that's Pat Dixon. Always a pleasure to have them. And he was there. He played and commentated. Inkwell Design, JC Riggs made another fantastic trophy. Portico Licensed General Contractors, they were the main sponsor. They were on the flyer and everything. Fast Action Billiards, that's where we played. TKO Custom Cues, Kirk Overcash, talking about, he got on the stream, was talking about how he's going to be making some jump cues or break cues coming up. Supreme Cues, Sean, we missed you this weekend, buddy. Hopefully to see you soon. Barry McDonald at Ameris Bank Mortgage Broker. Barry did not play this time, but we do see him a lot in our tournaments. The Roundabout Grill, fantastic spot for lunch and breakfast if you're ever hungry. And the Pool Doctors, who are going to be our main sponsor for our next tournament. Thank you all so much for being our sponsors. Definitely can't have the tournament or the tour without you guys. We're going to hit on round of applause for them. We're going to hit on the tournament that we just had kind of briefly because, honestly, I felt like this tournament kind of went the way that we thought it would. We had 8-ball, our second 8-ball event of the year. It's races to 2 out of 3 sets. Full field, 32 players. First place with Calcutta was over $2,000. Mike Davis and BJ Usry split. Third was Clint Clark. Fourth was Renal Bott. Fifth, sixth, Danny Jones and Hank Powell. I mean, Josh, looking at that list, is that about the order that you thought that it would go?
At the very top, I would think so. I mean, BJ Mike, that makes sense. Clint Clark, I think, especially at that location, at Fast Action Billiards, right? That sounds about right. Yep. His home bar, yeah. That could have been that. It could have been Ronald as well. Let me see if there's anybody at all that we missed that could have been at the top. Jazz?
Yeah, Jazz, the first time. This is the 5th event that he played. First one he didn't cash. So kind of a shocker there. And
looks like 2 and 2 for Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks about right.
Bracket. Yeah, it looks about right. I mean, I think, Clint Clark, this is the 4th time they've ever been to Fast Action for a tournament, and it's the 3rd time that he's finished in the top 3. So Clint obviously plays well at his home bar. No surprise. I feel like a player like him is supposed to play good at his home bar. This was also, by the way, our second split of the year. This was only the second time where the finalists decided to split and not play it out. Did you like the format? Race to 2 out of 3 sets?
Yeah, it's not bad. For 8-ball, it's not bad. I think ended up finishing at a decent time as well. If it would have been races to
It was
3
before one.
longer,
Yeah. Yeah, well, that one game makes it a lot longer. We tried that one time very early on in the pool series, and it took forever. So took a game off. 8 ball can be a little long, especially we play. Me and you talked about this a little earlier. We play kind of APA rules where it's make it take it, which I think slows it down a little bit. Also,
yeah. Yeah, it
um,
will slow it down because even if you make a ball on the break, you might be forced to shoot the toughest set of balls.
yeah,
So you might have to start off with a safety, and it will just drag it out that way.
exactly. Danny Jones finished in 5th place. I do want to hit on him really quick. I hadn't seen him. This is only the second time he's played in a pool series event. Haven't really seen him very much. Do you know Danny Jones and how good he plays?
Yeah, he was one of the guys I used to think he plays so good when I was starting to play pool,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I will see him all the tournaments, and then I stopped seeing him. I want to say I was surprised to see him when I think it was break time. The new break time opened up in Winston
Yeah.
Salem, or I guess it's Clements now. He
Yep.
was there, so I think that's kind of like his home bar right now. He's playing
Yeah,
on that side of North
he
Carolina.
lives like maybe 15 minutes from that pool hall, I think, from where they're at now.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's actually signed up for our next tournament at Fast Action as well next month. So maybe Danny Jones is going to start, coming out a lot. And if he does, I feel like maybe he could be a winner on the pool series coming up soon.
How did he play this past weekend? Do you
I
watch
thought he
much of?
played, yeah, I thought he played very well. He played on the stream table twice, I believe. I thought he played very well. I mean, he beats Clint Clark, loses to Mike Davis, and loses to Clint Clark. So, I mean, he lost, he beats Clint 1 out of 2 and he loses to Mike. I mean, I think he
Right.
lost to, I don't know
Looks
how
like
much Danny's.
Hill.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I actually thought he was going to beat Mike when they were playing. Danny was playing really well in that match. So Mike squeaked it out, though. Mike squeaked out a couple, I think, in this tournament. And so did BJ. BJ squeaked out a couple as well. But with this format, I honestly feel like an 8 ball. I feel like every match is going to be close with this format. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
He probably should be close. Being alternate break. It should either be real close or a blowout, I would think.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at some of the matches, and it looked like some of the matches were blowouts as well. And it's just
Yeah.
race to 2. You could easily, your opponent breaks dry, and if he breaks good and dry, you're gonna run out. And then if you make a ball in the break, so I think towards the top end of the players, you're gonna get either a very close match or a blowout. That would be my guess.
Yeah, exactly. I felt that way too. Like I feel like the matches were either going to be like 2-0, 2-0, or they were going to be like Hill third set. I think
I would agree with that.
Yeah, there's just no in between. I got to play in the tournament. I finished 13th place. We'll hit on that really quick because we normally talk about how we do in the tournament. I actually got a forfeit first round. Sean B didn't show up. Then I lose to Michael Robertson 2-0, 2-0. I beat Devin Anderson. I think it was 2-0. No, it was Hill third set. I beat Devin. Then I lost to Joe Hyatt Jr. He beat me 2-0 in the third set. So it was a fun tournament.
This is all the Joe Hyatts have the similar names. I get him confused. That was like the little kid, or
that was the older child. Yeah,
the older child. Okay.
Yeah. Jacob is the youngest one.
Jacob. That's right.
Yeah, I played Joe Jr. I think he's like 16, maybe. Is he 16? Am I right? 15?
Yeah, I wouldn't call him a child anymore. He would get mad, but yeah.
Yeah. No, great kid. They're all great people, man. And that's actually the second time in a row that he's beaten me that we played. So obviously he's playing better than I am right now. So
he has gotten better. Well, you're busy a lot running the tournament, so it's hard to force yourself to bring your best game too.
Yes, for sure. I mean, I literally just play because it's fun, and I'll always enjoy playing pool. And it does get kind of boring just sitting there all day. And I was telling somebody one time, I was like, honestly, when I get to go play my match, it's the one moment where nobody tries to talk to me. So it's kind of like that's actually when I get to relax during the day.
But you started as a pool player, so
Yeah.
you still want to play pool, not just watch other people commentate matches and see them abuse the rails a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And that was still I was still a little upset that Michael beat me 2-0, but he played really good, and really I felt like I only made one mistake in the match. I think the second set could have gone hill. Instead, I missed the ball before the 8-ball. But first set, I didn't really have a chance. I think I draw broke, and that was pretty much the 2 racks. I mean, I think he broke and ran maybe, and I draw broke was the first 2 games maybe. So that shows you what this format's like. I think that pretty much covers that tournament, man. I think, like I said, we're just going to call it very quickly. I mean, do you got anything else that pops out to you about that tournament?
No, I don't think so. I think ended up being like that. I do seem you said that Mike kind of squeaked out a couple. BJ definitely squeaked out, I think, 3 matches.
Yeah.
The order could have been much different. Everybody will think, well, ended up as expected. But I think there was one ball away in quite a few of these matches that the entire order of finishing the podium would have been completely different.
Yeah, I think,
and that would have been exciting to see as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, being a viewer, I kind of want to see the underdog win, but that's how I am with any sport. Yeah, I think Ronald could have probably beaten Mike, I believe. I think Clint Clark could have beaten BJ. Michael Robertson maybe could have beaten BJ, possibly. Danny Jones,
2
like
chances
I said,
of winning. Yeah, he had 2 chances of winning.
Exactly. I think Danny Jones could have beaten Mike the way he was playing. So, yeah, it definitely could have been a lot different. But, hey, there's a reason why Mike and BJ are who they are. They found ways to win these kind of matches, like whether it's because the other guy makes a mistake or they make a great shot.
Yeah, and take advantage of the opportunity that's given to you. Because even though some of these matches, the other opponent had the chance to win, but both Mike and BJ still have to run out the balls, especially an 8-ball. It was not just hanging up the 9-ball. They sort of had to run out their balls and win the rack. So take advantage of your opponent's mistakes.
Yeah, because even Ronald and Mike, Ronald misses the 8-ball hill third set, and Mike still had kind of a tough out from where he was at.
Yeah,
so.
And he made it a little bit tougher on himself because it was pressure. He got out of line. I think it was maybe twice, and he still and he had a tough run out too coming down. I think I remember how because Ronald hung up the 8-ball on the corner pocket, and 2 of Mike's balls were on that corner pocket, so he had to start off with them or with one of them, and then come back around the table for the other one later on.
Yep. And I think he even played the first shot kind of tough just in case he missed it. Maybe he'd leave Ronald as tough as he could. So he definitely left it, tougher than he had to. But, that's what he wanted to do, and it worked out for him. So I was very surprised to see Ronald miss the 8-ball, though. Ronald struggles a little bit against Mike in these tournaments. I don't know.
Do you think it's being a little lopsided every time they've matched up?
Every time it's Mike's. I don't think Ronald. I'm not sure if Ronald's beaten Mike in a full series event, but I think every match has been like really close though. Maybe that's what Justin will do here with the 3 weeks off after this next event. Kind of look up some stats like that. Let's switch our attention now to what's happened so far this season. We've done 10 events. We've had 161 different players play. The point standings, Mike is killing it in first place in the points. We do have, what'd you say, 8 or 9 people within like 100 points of second, basically?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, so what's your thoughts on the points, man? And also, are you impressed that's been 161 different players so far?
I think so. And this is just for the 2025 season?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, that's incredible. And we're talking about a non-handicap tour, which if it was handicap, you would think that a lot more players. So 161 total players is pretty impressive for just 10 events, which they are capped at 32 as well.
Yes, exactly. Because I think we're only at 320 possible. So we're a little over halfway. We've had a little, because 320 would be the most we could have had if you had 32 different every event. So 161, that's 16 new players every tournament, basically.
Yeah.
And we have, I think we have like 3 or 4 new ones coming up in the next event too.
Okay, so we're gonna be at 165 basically for 11
Yep.
events. What do you think the end of the season is gonna be total players if you had to take the over under after 20 events?
My guess at the start of the year was 200. So I don't know.
Okay,
It's looking like it
I
might be
think you will
over that.
surpass that. Yeah, for sure. I
Yeah,
don't see how
especially
in
yeah, we have
10
a one
events you're
pocket
gonna get
event.
40.
Yeah, we have a one pocket event coming up. You usually get some new players for that because there's not really too many one pocket players around. And coming to Brass Tap a couple more times, I imagine we'll have some new players because we're not up there that often. And Fast Action, we usually get a couple new players. Smoky Q's about the only one where we get like almost the same players every time. But we are based out of Charlotte and we're there the most. So it's hard to get a lot of new players when we're there like almost once a month.
Yeah.
But
As far as the ranking goes, we touched up on this last time. Mike Scotty, he has this on lockdown. It's
yeah,
borderline impossible to catch up to him at this point. So getting that out of the way, the competition really is for second place. Second place, It is extremely tight. We have 2 players in second place with 330, and then we have an additional 4 players tied for fourth with 300 points. So only 30-point difference between for second place for 6 players. And so anybody in the top like 15, 16 places has a pretty good chance to get second place or third place.
Yeah. I mean, I think you can go all the way down to you're in 13th place with 190. I think we could go all the way down to where you're at in 13th place and say pretty much anybody above you, I think, could probably get top 3.
Fairly doable, like very doable
Yeah.
without having to do anything crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I know Tim Nelson, who's tied with you, he's signed up, I think, for like 4 or 5 more events. So, yeah, I think he's probably going to get at least another possibly, close to 200 points, I would think.
Yeah.
Chris Clark plays in almost every event, so I expect him to kind of, double
place.
up on his points. Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh Roberts will probably play the ones at Brass Tap, so you got to think 3 more events there. And that'll be at least probably another 300 points, at least.
And, yeah. So what do you think would be the finishing for, if you had to take a guess, for second and third place point-wise? Mike will probably hit 2,000, right? 20.
Yeah, Mike should definitely hit 2,000. It wouldn't surprise me if he hits 25. I think he can get another 1,000 points for sure. Second place, I'm thinking probably like 1,200, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like, but I could be wrong. Could be a little less. I mean, it really just depends on which one of these top players, such as yourself and DJ, Ramal, Hank Powell, like who's going to come out and play a lot. And, I expect all of you guys to finish like top 6 all the time. So it's really going to be who plays the most, I feel like, out of you guys.
Okay. So getting the reps in will do it. And this is a competition for $1,000, first place, 500 and 250.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So nice little bonus there, I feel like.
It is a nice little bonus, especially for second place. If you play 10 events, you guarantee the 2026 season as a free roll, basically.
Yeah, I mean, so basically, yeah, I mean, basically, if you look at it, if you get first place, you can play all of next year for free. 20 event, $1,000. If you get second place, you can play half of them for free. And then, third place, you can play like 5 of them for free. That's basically how I look at it. I mean, obviously.
That's how I look at it as well, too, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's a nice little bonus. And maybe one day down the line somewhere, we can get to a point where we pay out more than 3 spots, and give a lot more people a little bonus. I think that'd be really cool. So let's move on to how the tournaments have gone so far. I'm going to do a quick little recap of each event. You just tell me if something stuck out to your mind or,
Yeah, I'm looking at the tabs right here.
So we'll go back to event number 1, which is up there at Brass Tap. You played in that event. It was 9-ball. The top 3 was Guama, Jazz McConney, and Steve Page. I think that was a great way to start the season. You had Jazz surprising people by winning the hot seat. Steve Page had yet to play in one of my events, gets top 3, and Guama, winning for the second time at Brass Tap. That was a fun tournament. You played. What do you remember? What spot you got in that tournament?
Yeah, I got 9 through 12 on that one.
Okay, and that was I will say, first and foremost, Mike Davis is the only person that's played every event. And this was the only one where he did not cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that one point I think I was going to mention that. He finished 9 through 12 as well.
Okay, yeah, who did he lose to? He lost to Corey?
So Mike Davis did, he played Rashad, 2-0 win. And then he played Greg Dix with another 2-0 win. Then he loses 0-2 to Diego Guerrero.
Wow.
And then Hill to Corey Sykes to depart early and going home.
I mean, the big surprise on that one is losing to Diego, but Diego, he's played well. I think he's 3 out of 4 cashing in the pool series. So Diego does well.
That is surprising. Yeah, that 629 Fargo, that is surprising too. Yeah, so maybe he's playing a little bit better than his past performance is showing as far as Fargo goes, if you want to take it that way.
Exactly. But I feel like that was actually one of the funnest tournaments of the year so far. And it was a great way to start the season. Let's go to event number 2 was at Smoking Q, non-ball. We had Josh Heater getting the win over Mike Davis, and then BJ finishing 3rd. Only time Mike Davis has lost a finals in the pool series history, actually. First time he's ever lost a final match in the pool series. And this might have been my favorite final match maybe of the year so far, Josh. I think seeing Heater actually pull off the win was fantastic because he's been so close before. He'd beaten BJ for the hot seat before and then lost to BJ. Heater's pulled off some big wins, but he's never been able to finish one of our tournaments, coming out as the winner. So I actually feel like this was possibly my favorite finals of the year. I don't know about a whole tournament, but just the final match, seeing Heater win and seeing how happy he was. You were there for that one. Where did you finish?
Yeah, he beat me. I finished 4th place on the tournament.
Okay, nice.
And I lost to Josh and BJ. I mean, to Josh and Mike on that tournament. I played good. That was a little disappointing. I played Josh. I lost to him on the string table, and he played really good. And that was the match where he got those crazy rolls to start up, and he took full advantage of that. And I think that just gave him even more confidence that tournament. He seemed very confident. And I think I remember from the first podcast that we did, I remember joining the podcast for that event. He adapted the best, I think. Or he was adapted and he was playing the best. It was kind of raining a lot that day. So we talked a lot about the conditions on that event. And I think that Josh adjusted, the best for it as well. So he kind of deserves to win, I think.
Yeah, I think he deserved to win, and it was great to see him, like I said, get the trophy. I root for people to get a trophy. I want to, I don't want to see necessarily the same person win every tournament. I want to see different people get up there, and Josh deserved to have one, so it was great. The 3rd event of the year, we were at Smoking Q also for One Pocket. This one drew a lot of new faces, and it was Mike Davis's first win of the year. Kind of Mike and Hunter split.
Okay.
Robin Hill getting 3rd. This was
Don't
a
know
fun
who
tournament.
he is.
So Robin Hill, local player, very good one pocket player. Did not surprise me at all that he finished 3rd. I think if you look at that field, I think Mike and Hunter were probably 1 and 2 for sure. And then I think Robin maybe could have been the 3rd best player in that field. Like I wasn't shocked at all. I think, one pocket, there's a lot of players that we don't know because they don't get out. Like there's not as many one pocket tournaments. So, it's kind of like when that comes up, you do see a player like him and you kind of like, who is that? But then you're like, oh, that guy's actually really good. And
yeah, it's a completely different game.
Yeah, he actually had a chance to beat Hunter as well. Like he could have won that match. They go back on our YouTube channel. You can rewatch it. But yeah, Robin Hill definitely also a super nice guy as well. Super nice guy. So he was excited to play. I was happy to see him get 3rd. But, yeah, that was Mike's first win of the year, even though it was a split. 4th Fourth event of the year, we're at Fast Action 10 ball. Francisco Diaz wins. Josh Heater second. David Anderson third. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, tournament-wise, I think this was maybe my favorite tournament. And it's not because there was a lot of close matches. It's not because there was exciting stuff happening. I enjoyed it because out of every pool series event we have had, Francisco Diaz played the most perfect tournament that I have seen.
He won 7 matches 2-0.
Yeah. So races to 3, 2 out of 3 sets. He never goes to a third set. Did he?
No. Every single thing was 2-0. Unbelievable. 940 time.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I mean, I don't think I saw him make a mistake all day. I've seen tougher routes. I've seen tougher routes at the finals. Like, his route maybe wasn't the toughest, but he still beats Josh Heater, still beats Dave Anderson, beats Gabriel Gindak.
Second match?
Beats some good players. David's my buddy. He beats David so bad where David's like, I have no chance. Like, you could just tell David knew he was done, like, after the first set.
That's kind of crazy to think that on a race to 3 tournament.
Yeah, I mean, but he broke perfect almost every time. Played great safe. Never missed a ball, I don't think. And you can go back and rewatch a few of these matches on our YouTube channel. I mean, did you ever, Francisco Diaz, correct? Have you seen him?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
not recently, but he's an European champion. I know he's an unbelievable player. Yeah,
I don't know. Where do you put him as overall, like, amongst the greats and the top players? Like, is he in tier 1 or would he be like a tier 2 player?
Like, we're talking about at the top of the game?
Yeah, like at the top, like up there. Like, is he up there?
I would call him like a top professional, but not a world-class player.
Gotcha.
So I think his Fargo kind of shows, right? What is he, like a 780 or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
I think I had pulled it off at some point. But yeah, I mean, and especially coming from Europe, where it's very hard over there, and I think maybe 10, 15 years ago, he probably would have been like a top player in Europe. I mean, he's a 781 and this is the thing, he's got almost 7,500 robustness. So he's a very well-established 781.
Yes. And I believe it. Like I said, that's the first time I'd watched him in person, and it's the best I've seen anybody play in one of our events. I mean, I've seen people take a tougher route, which we'll actually talk about here in a little bit, because I feel like we did see one that was like super tough, but that was the best I've seen anybody play. So, Josh, I definitely recommend you going back and rewatching the stream matches that he had on our YouTube channel, because maybe you're going to be just as impressed as I am. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you won't be as impressed, but
I've seen him play. He's unbelievable. And I was wrong. He's actually a 2-time pool European champion. He won in 2012 and 2015. And in 2012, he won the Spanish pool championship for 9-ball as well. He also was on 2015. On the World Games, he was the runner-up on the 10-ball event, losing to Alexander Kasakis, which in 2015, Alex Kasakis was at the top as well. Yep. So unbelievable player. No surprise on what you're saying that he played borderline perfect there.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't even look like he was really trying that hard either. Like, there was never a moment in any of his matches where I saw him like sweating because like, oh, this is a tough shot, or this is a tough out, or oh man, I might lose. It was just like, okay, like, I'm just going to make this ball. I'm going to play this safe. I'm going to win this match. It was crazy. I hope he comes back at some point.
That'd be nice. That'd be really nice.
Yeah.
In North Carolina, there's a lot of good players moving to North Carolina. So just make it as tough as it gets.
Yeah, there's a good chance he might qualify for our tour championship. So maybe.
I am super excited about that tournament. Honestly, it's top 64 for the tour championship, and same format, $2,500 added. It's gonna be.
It'll be the same format. for the first day. When we get to the final 16, it changes.
Oh, you're gonna redraw.
Final 16 will be single elimination, redraw, and races to 4, 2 out of 3 sets.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna see some upsets on there. I think it's gonna be, like for example, what happened this past weekend with BJ and Mike, where they were able to fade a few. I think it's gonna be very difficult.
I think so too.
For people to fade that, so only the ones that bring their best game that weekend, and whoever wins is going to be very well deserved, because at 64 players on that format, it's going to be very hard.
There's going to be a ton of good players if they all show up, and I think making the final 16 single elimination, we could see some upsets, and maybe the winner, maybe is somebody that's not like one of the favorites. Maybe somebody squeaks through and just has a hot day on Sunday and wins 4 matches to pull off the win. I don't know, but yeah, that's how we're going to do it. The finals will actually be a race to 5, 2 out of 3 sets. So just like the Super Billiard Expo.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a long weekend for us.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a good way to do it. I don't know. We're going to try it out. If people don't like it, we'll change it up next year.
Do we have a date on it yet?
It's the first weekend of December. I don't know
first
the date
weekend of December. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, good to know. Yeah, it's on our schedule that you can find on our Facebook page.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is December 6th and 7th.
Yes.
December 6th. So put that on your calendar for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that. That's exactly what I'm gonna do, because I'm gonna.
Yeah, it'll be a good day. I will say all 16 players that make it a Sunday will be in the money, by the way. So people won't have to worry about making it to day 2 and not being in the money.
That's great. That's great thinking ahead. Yeah.
And it'll still be $50 entry fee, but $2,500 added. So with a full field, I think that I'm not sure what that comes out to. I should know this. I should know. Let's see. Comes out to $5,060. So
okay.
That'll be
like 2,400 for first place or something like that, or 2,200 for first place.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. We haven't decided yet. But then.
Or $2,000 for sure, probably.
Probably, yeah. That's probably more like it. And then Calcutta as well. Calcutta could be big with all those top players there.
That's what I'm thinking. 64 people in the Calcutta. It might end up being a $7,000-$8,000 total prize for first prize.
I mean, that would be fantastic. I would love it. Let's get back to talking about some of these past tournaments this year. Tournament number 5, we were at Smoke and Q, our first 8-ball event of the year. And this one, I actually thought this one was a lot of fun as well, because it was the first time we did the races to 2 format. Mike Davis wins his first outright win of the year. Joey Tate getting second place. First time we have seen Joey Tate at a pool series event. And third place was Renal with his first top 3 finish. That's a super strong top 3, I feel like. And Joey Tate, that kid is going to be phenomenal if he sticks with pool, because I enjoy watching him. I love everything about his game. I love his demeanor, love his attitude. I mean, you probably see Joey a lot more than I do, Josh. What do you feel about Joey Tate?
I think my favorite thing about him is kind of his temperament around the table. He really is. He's got like the perfect temperament for it. He's been playing since he was a little kid. He's had a lot of opportunity, a lot of coaching, so he's put a lot of practice. He's playing a lot of major events overseas. So as far as the experience, he's got that. But temperament is kind of not something you can really teach. You either have it or you don't, and he always had it. And
always
just even keel, regardless. You don't know if he's winning or losing. I mean, you'll have your up and downs here and there. Everybody does it. For the most part, like 90+% of the time, he's gonna have that even keel temperament on him, and he's won a lot, and he shows kind of why.
Yeah, I also really like that. He seemed to be having a lot of fun that day. He said he loved the format, loved what we were doing. Always like to hear that from some of the top regional players. Means that we're doing something right. Not that they just come and play, but that they give me the compliment. They don't have to. So the fact that he was complimentary about what we were doing and the format and everything meant a lot. It was also super impressive that Mike beat him in the finals, by the way, because I really thought Joey was playing perfect all day, and then Mike was just like, "Not yet, kid, not yet. It's still my turn to win." I don't know if you watched their final match, but
I
it
did
was.
not.
It's definitely, I think, a match worth rewatching. It's not like super intense or anything, but I don't know. It's fun because you get to see somebody like Mike who's been around so long, facing this up and comer, and it's like you're just like, okay, what's going to happen here? And Mike just bears down and just does what
Not
Mike
your turn
did.
yet. I remember you did put quite a few highlights about that
Yep.
event on
Yep.
Facebook, some shots and stuff like that. So I do remember seeing that. I didn't see the whole match, but kind of had like an idea of what happened for
Yeah, we
that
did.
event. Mike plays
And
some
we'll get,
really good patterns in there.
man, Mike. So we're going 2 A-ball tournaments. Mike obviously has technically won both of them. This last one is a split, but I think Mike is such an under. There's not as many 8-ball tournaments, so we don't really know. But I mean, the dude's a phenomenal 8-ball player.
Yeah,
Like,
he's also, I don't know if you knew, he does play, or he's played a lot of straight pool.
oh yeah,
And now with his one pocket and the experience that he's had, like, you're just not gonna make a terrible decision making mistake
no, and
when
it's funny.
you're Mike.
Yeah, it's funny too because when he's at my tournaments and he's got a while between matches or whatever, he'll like hang out for a minute and then like he'll start practicing right before his match, and he'll practice with straight pool. Like
He does that a lot.
he's not running non-balls or whatever. He'll rack them up straight pool and try to run them. And I always joke with him. I'm like, Mike, how many are you running over there? 200, 300? And he'll be like, oh no, I'm running like 6. I'm like, okay, whatever. uh, Event number 6 on the year, by the way. We're at Fast Action, 9-ball. Mike Davis, back-to-back wins. Clint Clark, second place. I will say, I believe he lost first round. Runs all the way through, gets second place. And third place, Hank Powell. A top 3 that we saw a few times last year as well. And Hank Powell with another top 3 finish. Hank Powell's, this is, obviously I want a lot of people to get trophies, but I'm putting Hank Powell at the top of my list of people that I want to see get a trophy because
He's been
this
close.
dude, I think he's had 10 finishes in the top 3 in the pool series history. He cannot seem to get that win though. Cannot seem to get first place. So
On that event, he's the one who beat Clint Clark on the second round.
Second, okay, yeah.
And then it looks like he went back and knocked out Hank Powell.
Yep.
2-0 to clinch the second place to get to the final. So, Hank beat Clint on the second round, and he could have easily then beat him and make the finals. Do you think that Hank is going to be one of those players where, he's got third place, fourth place, and when he makes the finals, do you think he's going to win it outright on his first time around, or it's going to be one of those like you kind of have to grind your way up, then they have up like 2 or 3 second places and then finally win one?
I think he'll finally win one, man. I think when he gets there, I think next time he gets to the finals, I think he wins.
Okay.
I really do. He's been in the finals once before. I think it was last year. He played Ronald in the finals, and Ronald beat him.
Okay, so he already got that experience there. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I didn't know he already made a finals.
Yeah, he does have a few third place and a bunch of fourth place. Clint Clark, by the way, we've been to Fast Action 4 times. You said Clint Clark in this tournament lost second round, comes back and gets second place. First time we were at Fast Action, Clint Clark loses first round, comes back and wins the tournament. This past weekend at Fast Action, Clint Clark loses second round, comes back through and gets third place. Are you impressed by that he's basically done this 3 times, like losing first or second round and getting to the top 3?
I watched some of the stream, and people on the comments were joking around about that. It was like, hey, Clint, you just got to go ahead and lose because you play so much better from the loser side.
I mean, dude, I'm impressed that he's done it 3 times, basically. I mean, because it's not like they're easy field. Like, it's not like he's just I mean, he's playing strong players and getting there.
I think sometimes that happens. He's like a field player, and he likes to get in stroke. And sometimes players like that do better from the loser side, just because they know that either they gain stroke and win, or they go home and they're playing back to back to back. So just give them a chance to just gain stroke and mow people down.
Yeah, Clint's a great rhythm player. I mean, when he's in
Rhythm player, yeah.
Yeah, when he's in rhythm, he's actually one of my favorite players to watch because he'll play just perfect shape on everything. And, I feel like it's just, I don't know, I like the pace that he plays at when he's in rhythm. I like the patterns that he goes for. It's just, to me, he's one of the funnest players to watch when he's in rhythm. So shout out to Clint if he watches this. You know, you're one of my favorite players when you're in rhythm. Event number 7, this was possibly, I'm going to say this might have been the most stacked field that we've had, maybe in one of our pool series, 32-man fields. We're at brass tap for non-ball. Josh Roberts pulls off the win. Guama gets second. BJ gets third. Josh, you played as well. I mean, just what do you remember from that tournament, dude? Like that.
Joao played. Joao
Yeah.
finished 4th place. It's pretty good. I mean, Mike Davis got a 5th, 6th on that one.
Yeah.
So we had Josh, Sanchez, Owama, BJ, Gabriel was there, Mike Davis,
Steve Page was there again. I think
Steve
Jazz
Page
was Jazz
yeah,
there
that's what
again.
I'm looking. Hank Powell was there.
Yeah,
I was there. I mean, it was
Caleb Hickson was there. He's a really strong player.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was very, very stacked. Jason Rogers.
Yeah, Jason Rogers.
Yeah, that was like half the field was pretty strong.
Yeah, I mean Jason Rogers. That was, I think, right after he got 3rd place Masters in Vegas. So
yeah,
that was
confidence level high.
Super strong field. What do you just remember from that tournament, man? And where did you finish?
Oh, I didn't finish good at all that tournament. Where am I at here? I think I might have gone 2-2, something like that.
Okay.
Oh, what I do remember about that tournament is my second match. Yeah, my second match against Wama. I just won't forget that part. I shot. It went to the 3rd set, but I could have easily won 2-0, and I just can't forget that part. I shot the winning ball twice to win 2-0, and then heel on the 3rd set, and didn't close them out. And I think that kind of deflated me on that tournament, losing that match.
That can happen, yeah.
Yeah, I was just like a little, I wouldn't necessarily say upset, but it's just kind of like, man, I shot twice to win this match, and kind of not necessarily have an easy route, but just knowing that I got to win 3 more to get to the finals. And then knowing that I got to win, like, after losing your second match, I got to win like 7. And I was just like, man, last time we were here, I had to do this, and I was exhausted, and I finished 4th.
It's
and
tough.
It just kind of deflated me a little bit, yeah.
No, that happens when you have a chance to beat, maybe a top 2 or 3 player in the tournament and have the winning shot and miss it. It is deflating for sure, and we've all been there. We've all been there. But I mean, also, like, you've probably been on the other side of that too, where somebody's missed the ball against you and been deflated. That was the first tournament I played this year as well. I don't know if you got the bracket pulled up. I don't know where I finished. I know I lost to BJ on stream. So if y'all want to watch that, go back.
Justin Clark. Yeah. So you went 2-2 as well. You beat Doug Parks.
Nice.
They lost to BJ on the stream.
Yeah.
Win against Joe Hyatt.
Nice. And then lost to Joe Hyatt.
And then you lost to the kid. Yeah.
And he actually should have beat me 2-0. He missed the non-ball to win 2-0. I do remember that. He played really well. I was really hoping he would go on a run after that, but sadly he lost to Gabriel Gindak the very next round. But the best match, I think, maybe the best match of the year, honestly, I'm going to go ahead and mention. The best match that we've had on stream this year, I think, was at that tournament. Gabriel Gindak versus Caleb Hickson. You can go back and rewatch that on our YouTube channel. I think that was the best match of the year. Gabriel wins the first set 3-0 in like 7 minutes. He's up 2-0 the second set, misses like the 7 ball. Caleb grinds through and wins 6 straight games to beat him. Actually, not 6 straight games, but grinds through to win that set and then wins the 3rd set.
I do remember watching that. Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah, I think that's the best match that we have had on stream so far this year. Shout out to Caleb Hickson. Hopefully he comes back. Kid's gonna be a phenomenal player if he sticks with it as well. I didn't realize he was quite as young as he is. So, shout out to him.
How old is he?
I think he's 21 or 22, something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Perfect age to play good pool.
Yeah, exactly. Sticks and Stones was our next event. Event number 8, Sticks and Stones. We had non-ball on the bar box. Only bar box event of the year. Mike Davis with the when Billy Fowler second place, Hunter White third place. Probably definitely the three strongest bar box players around, maybe, in my opinion. So not surprising that was the top three. You also had Stevie Moore that was there. He could have snuck up there. Earlier when I talked about Frank Diaz being the most impressive win because he played good, I think Mike's win in this tournament, though, is the most impressive with who he beats to get there. He never has what you would call, I don't think he was ever heavily favored to win any of those matches. I don't know if you have it pulled up in front of you.
I am looking at it right now. I mean, he played Billy Fowler, what, 3 times on that same tournament?
Yeah.
Well,
twice.
And, oh, I guess do this.
Yeah, I don't know why I put that. I don't know why I put. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's 0-0. Yeah, you're right. It's twice.
Yeah.
David Anderson, 2-1 on that one. I guess maybe the easiest match he had was Jeff Bate.
I think so. Yeah, and Jeff's not
probably, and he's not a bad player. I'm just saying. Yes, you're right. He actually outright won that.
Jeff cashed.
Yeah, he finished 5-6.
I think everybody that Mike played cashed. Am I correct?
David Anderson, 7-8. Cash. Jeff Bate, 5-6. Billy Fowler, second place. Stevie Moore, 4th.
Yeah.
Hunter White, 3rd.
Yeah.
And Billy Fowler again. You're right. So he beat all the everybody underneath him.
Yeah. So I'm saying that's the most impressive tournament run that I've seen. And
you're probably right.
Yeah, most of those matches are on our YouTube channel, so you can go back and rewatch a lot of those. Billy Fowler went on a good run though towards the end. He beat Stevie Moore, beats Hunter White. Very strong performance by Billy. I don't know how much have you seen of Billy Fowler, Josh?
I think I've played him maybe once or twice.
Okay.
I think I played him at the state championship last year.
Nice.
The Namble State Championship last year, and when I saw the list for this tournament, I just know that Billy plays really good on bar box. It's kind of like a bar box specialist. Not that he plays any bad on 9-footers or anything like that, but he is more well known for that. So I did kind of put him a little bit on the favorite side to win the event. And he finished second. And I knew he had been playing pretty good because a couple weeks before that, he played at break time in Clemens, the new one.
Yeah.
And he played really, really good. And there was some 9-footers over there. And he played really, really good there. So I think he's been either playing more or putting a little more time. I mean, he's a 7-11 Fargo. So, he's a pretty good player.
Oh, yeah.
He's actually gone up. I think you're right. Or I think I'm right that he's probably going a little bit better because I think he hovered around the 700, 701 for a long time. And just getting 10 extra points, So I was gonna put him as the favorite to make the finals.
He did. He did go first blind bid in the auction in that tournament. So obviously, I think somebody thought he was the favorite to win. Yeah.
Now, one surprise in here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. What's the one surprise?
Stevie Moore. It's a name that I have not heard in a very long time. Really surprised to see him there and happy that he's playing again.
Yeah, he's getting out and playing more now, man. He just opened up his own bar in South Carolina. I don't know how many tables they have, but they have a couple of weekly tournaments during the week. I think on Thursday they do a 1-pocket tournament, race to 1, double elimination. So just one.
Yeah, I've got him as a friend on Facebook. I've kept up a little bit with that, but I didn't know he had been playing, much at all.
Stevie is, he's one of my favorite people, man. He's always super nice. He always remembers me. I can still tell you the first so-called big tournament that I ever played in, I played him first round, and he's always remembered me ever since then. My first big win, that I truly, really remember where I was like, I'm impressed by myself, was when I beat him at the Smoky Mountain Shootout one year.
Dude, me too.
Yeah,
the first big win that I have that I can remember was probably against Stevie Moore. And it was handicap. It was in the Q City, but I think I was like a 5 at the time, but I won 5-4. So he felt really, I mean, he was like a 10 or 11 and I was just kind of like learning still. And I was like, oh yeah.
But that tells you that tells you how good Stevie is. Like, that we still remember beating him and that we viewed that as a big win.
Right.
I think for handicap tournament purposes, I think my first big win that I remember was against Tony Watson. I beat Tony one time. The race was like 5-12 or something like that, and I beat him like 5-7. So I don't know.
So you beat Stevie at the smoking shootout, the Smoky Mountain Shootout?
Yeah, Smoky Mountain Shootout. I beat
That's a bar box, right?
It was bar box, yeah. This was when it was still Valleys. This was before they had the diamond, so it was still Valleys. We were playing. It was on the loser side. We were playing. I still remember we were playing on table 1, so up by the stage. Race to 7. I beat him 7-2. He was up 2-0, and then I ended up winning 7-2. It's a winner break. Winner break.
Heater right there, yeah.
Yeah, I broke a rain. I think I broke a rain 4 in a row at one point. So I kind of just got in a zone. I do remember, though, the very first shot I had of the match, he played safe. And he could tell that I was going to kick to play the carom off the ball and make another ball. So he calls the referee over. And I remember I just shoot at 1,000 miles an hour because I was like, screw it, and I make the shot. And then that's when I run out that rack, and then, I ended up breaking and running like 4 in a row. Yeah, definitely still one of my favorite memories from pool. Sorry, Stevie, I'm talking about it.
Hey, but that's just how it goes. And then there's always somebody that beats you, and that's their biggest match, and it's just how the wheel keeps on churning.
Yeah, I can tell you the first time I played Stevie, like I said, it was a smoking Q tournament, race to 9, no handicap. I play him first round, and I come out and I break and run the first rack, and it's like, he has no idea who I am. And somebody's like, yeah, that's Justin. He works here. And Stevie's like, oh, I get to play the house pro. And I dogged the 9-ball in the next rack, and then he just tortured me. And I was like, oh, okay. It's like, all right. Like, that's the Stevie more than I expected.
Right.
But, yeah, it's funny how I remember, so much about those 2 matches against him. And yet I can't tell
you were talking – it's funny, on that tournament, I've only played the Smoky Mountain one time, maybe twice, but I think just once. And on that format, this was already on the money, and I had to play Josh Newman. And it was a race to 9, right?
On the winner side, race to 9, yeah.
Yeah. I'm up 8-3 against Josh Newman. I couldn't get out, so I played a jam up safety on him, and I'm thinking I've got this match. And because I hooked him by the corner pocket, and he just thought about the shot for 5 minutes, and he ended up going to the short rail, long rail, and kicked the ball into the side pocket to make it get out. So, and then he puts a 5-pack and he beats me, and then we get back to the table. And I remember that match not just because I lost and I thought I had it on the bag, but it's just the shot that he shot. Yeah. I don't think I've never seen it before, that kick shot. And every time, but since then, this was years ago, it's come up multiple times. And every time that shot comes up, I think about Josh Newman and how he did it. And now I can do it myself.
Dude, I'm telling you, I hate that I missed that tournament this year. It was the first time they had it since COVID. Hopefully I can make it back next year. Smoky Mountain is one of my favorite tournaments every year. I love it. They got diamond tables that they're using now. It's a great format.
Downtown is super nice too. Restaurants and all that. Yeah.
Yes. I remember me and you went to a good breakfast spot up there that one time.
That's right.
Yeah. I got so many good memories from there. With Josh Newman, Jeff Pate, with you, Kevin Boggs, rest in peace. Matt Riggs. So many good memories. Josh Newman. Yeah. I mean, it's a shame that he's never won that tournament because he's been close. I remember, I don't know why, but I want to mention this story. I saw Josh Newman and Jeff Pate play one time in the money, and it was Sunday morning, and Josh wins the match so quick that Jeff never even had a chance to take his jacket off. I'm talking I would be shocked if the match. I'd be shocked if the match took 30 minutes. It was crazy. And I think I drove Jeff home for that. I think that was why I remember it so clearly. But Yeah, no, great tournament, dude. Next year we should plan on going if
Yeah, I would like to go again for sure. Yeah,
yeah.
I just never gone back again because I did. That's around when I injured my back, and it was just what, like 4.5, 5 hour drive from home. And I was just,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's like too short to fly, but too long to drive for me.
Yeah. It's also usually like a couple of weekends before the Super Billiard Expo.
Yeah, it will be like a great warm up for the expo as well.
Exactly. Let's talk about the last tournament on our list here. Event number 9. We're at Break Time in Cary, our only visit up there. By the way, great food. I'm going to mention that again. Non-ball tournament. First place, Mike Davis, of course. Second place, Greg Kane. Third place, Adam Bryan. So sorry, Adam. Adam Bryan. 2 names we had not seen in the top 3. This was a very fun tournament. It was exciting to see Greg and Adam up there. We had a couple other new names, Cash. Josh, you played. I played for a minute. I was 2 and out. But this was a super fun tournament, dude. I don't know. Is this going to be a tournament that you remember? And obviously, you want us to go back there next year, correct?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you expanded and now you're coming to Raleigh, and now this is becoming like a North Carolina thing. I'm honestly happy that it's the pool series is going the way it is for 2025, and I think I'm already, even though we're just talking about halfway through the season, I'm even more excited about 2026 because I just know, you know what I mean.
Yeah, we got a couple of things. We got a couple of things that we'll announce for next year as well. Obviously, later in the year, we don't want to announce them yet, but we're gonna add like 2 things to next year, make it even.
But look forward for the announcements because it's happening.
Yes, for sure. But yeah, Break Time was definitely a fun tournament. I'm gonna throw out a couple of stats to you here. If you just take the top 3 players that cashed in all 10 events, we have had we have had 18 different players cash in the top 3, just top 3. So we've had 18 different players in the top 3. I think that's a pretty good variety. I don't know. What do you think? Is that like would you expect that number to be higher?
I will think about the top 10%. It's going to be on this format, and you had 161 players, 18 different players on the top 3. I think that kind of adds up, right? The top 10% is usually, and I guess 4th through 8. It would be nice to know how many people finish, 4th through 8. I will say
I'll look those stats up later.
Maybe 40 different people, 30 different people. If that's what I would expect.
Yeah, I would think that we're probably had 40-something different players cash this year. Yeah, that sounds about right.
And that sounds, that's kind of what I would expect. So, yeah. And what I do find crazy, it is out of the top 10 events for 2025, what Mike has won 6.
Yeah.
And finished 2nd in 1. So 70% success rate for the to get to the finals.
Yep.
That's insane.
And based off of that number or that stat, here's a stat that's kind of mind blowing if you think about him winning 6. The other 4 tournaments have been 4 different winners. So if he doesn't win, it's always somebody brand new.
A brand new trophy.
Yeah. And what's funny is we actually started the year off with 4 different winners. Like the first 4 tournaments, we had Guama, Josh Heater, Mike Davis, and Francisco Diaz. And then that's when Mike was like, okay, enough of this. We're going to just, it's the Mike Davis show from here. So we got 10 events left. How many more different winners do you think we get? Or how many more do you think Mike wins?
I think it's the rate is going to be, it just depends on who's end up showing up. I think now that the fight for the 2nd place is on, and it's going to start getting closer and closer, I think more of the top 10 are going to show up to more of the events. I predict that it's going to be harder for Mike to keep this up.
I think so too. Yeah.
I just don't see him winning another 6 events. I think my prediction is like maybe he'll win 3 more. that's. I mean, well, who knows? You know, he could win the next three, and then I could be completely wrong. But that's just what I'm guessing. Maybe 3 or 4. Um, I think as the year goes on, more of the top, guys fighting for second place are gonna show up, and it's just gonna be a little bit harder to just fade the format the whole time.
I think that, and I think you'll see some of the stronger players that are near the bottom of the list show up just to make sure they're top 64. Because you got a few people because you got a few people down there like Josh Newman, Corey Sykes, a couple of guys that are like right near the top 64 that probably need to show up a couple of times to make sure they qualify. David Anderson's up top there, but Jeff Pate, maybe somebody like that, somebody that where it's like, okay, maybe I'm not solidified myself in the top 64 yet. I need to start showing up more, and it could be somebody that could easily maybe win the tournament or at least get close or something. Steve Page, maybe somebody like that, could pull off a win. So we got 10 events left. I'm gonna break them down for you. Half of them are non-ball. So we got 5 non-ball events left. One pocket event, and then 2 8-ball and 2 10-ball left. Is it your goal to try to play in each game this year, or are you just kind of just sticking to non-ball? You did play a 10-ball event already, but you haven't played.
No, I haven't. Yet. Oh, did I play 10-ball?
Oh no, you didn't. No, you only played non-ball. So yeah, you've only.
I'm playing this weekend. Yeah, I'm playing. This
you're
weekend.
playing.
I'm playing non-ball. Yeah. For me, I would love to play all the games. It's more of where they are at.
Gotcha.
And how far I have to go. So I think it's just being skewed towards non-ball because most of the events are either being here or when I go to Smoking Q, or it's just being non-ball.
Yeah.
I would love to do. I would have loved to have being able to go this past weekend to play 8-ball. I like all the games. I'm not a great one pocket player, but I was still. It's what races to 2 one pocket.
Yeah, just race to 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love that too as well.
And actually. I believe the first one pocket tournament of the year we got done at a decent time. It was like I think before 2:00 in the morning, so it was pretty quick.
Smoking Q, was that the first one?
Yeah, that's where the second one will be also.
Okay.
Yeah. We sadly we didn't get one scheduled anywhere else this year. Next year, for sure, having one up there in the Raleigh area.
Yeah. So 10 events left. Let's put you on the spot. We've had you said 3 or 4 different winners at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, so we've had 5 total for the year. Yeah.
Okay. For the next 10 events, how many different winners do you think we're gonna have?
I'm gonna say we have.
You're a betting man, so you have to bet on this.
All right, I'm gonna say we get 3. I'm gonna say we get 3. I'm gonna go 4. I'm gonna go 4 different winners.
That they haven't won before.
Yeah, that they haven't won yet this year. Yeah.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, I think Renal is going to get one. He doesn't have one yet this year. I think.
So he had one before.
He had one last year. Yeah.
Okay.
Technically, he has 2. He had a split last year. Him and Mike split one last year. So technically, Renal has 2. But I'm gonna say Renal wins one this year. I'm gonna say Hank Powell finally breaks through and wins one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Clint Clark probably gets one of the other ones at Fast Action, so that's 3. And then I don't know. I think we get like a 4th, like maybe a surprise win from somebody. Maybe it's
has Jazz won?
Jazz has not won, no. So that could be like a surprise win, yeah. Or maybe Corey Sykes. Maybe Hunter White maybe comes back and plays and wins. I don't know. I just feel like 4 just seems like a good number.
That would be awesome, yeah. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
get the stuff mixed up in there.
Yeah, what do you think? How many do you think we get?
I think all the names that you mentioned there too, right? On top of that, maybe, but he already won one, so Josh Heater could win another one. But I think the people that have not won, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So what's been like the one thing that's going to stick out? What's one thing that sticks out to you so far throughout this year? 10 events. What's like the first thing you think of when you think of the first half of the season?
I always go back, I think, to like how strong some of these fields have been, because you would think that it's just like a regional tour, and just to see the quality of players that have showed up, including like Diaz, like
Yeah.
European champions, and then it's just been a lot of good quality play. And a lot of people that haven't showed up in a long time, that they just probably don't travel too much, or they haven't been playing too much pool. I just like to see that's what's sticking out to me. How like the kind of grassroots efforts to just get like quality play on the forefront for the state.
I agree with you. I think it's been impressive with the fields that we've had, especially considering if you look at where we started, where it was just like, okay, we're just going to get like some of the best players in Charlotte. Now it's like we're really getting some of the best players probably in the Southeast, not just in North Carolina. So it's been a lot of fun. Josh, I think that pretty much covers it, dude. I mean, is there anything else that you want to talk about?
Yeah, we've talked a lot about the first part of the year, so I think that covers it.
Yeah, dude. I think this has been a lot of fun. Can't wait for the rest of the year, dude. And you'll probably be back on the show next week as well, because it'll be after the Smoking Q tournament. So
yeah, I'm already putting on the calendar. I'll be here next week, and we'll see. I predict to see that what's going to be your prediction. I'm either going to be like 2-1, or I'm going all the way.
Man, I mean, you've done pretty well at Smoking Q so far, so I really expect you to be Final Four for sure.
I would hope so.
I'm gonna say top three. I'm gonna say top three. All
right, then you can flip this out.
Yeah,
either you're gonna be completely right or completely wrong. Either way, it gets flipped out.
either way. Dude, this has been the TPS reports. Thank you so much, Josh.
Thank you, Justin.
And
take care, everybody.
Yes, for all you people watching, make sure to hit like, subscribe, all that good stuff on YouTube, on Facebook, Pool Series. We'll check you later.